Very good morning to you once again. If you're just joining us, this is Newsfeed AM. We continue watching the developments in the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, which will continue to hear evidence on the SARS-related evidence from BAIN Company's former partner, Athol Williams. For more on this, and what we can expect today, we're joined by our senior reporter, Tumaole Mohlaoli. Tommy, very good morning to you.
Very good morning.
And thanks indeed for coming through. So yesterday, just the quick highlights around the issue that had to do with BAIN Company not wanting the affidavit of Mr. Williams publicized. How was that matter dealt with ultimately?
Well, in terms of dealing with that matter, the affidavit itself, what BAIN had said is that it didn't want the affidavit to be publicized because it didn't want to be implicated, because BAIN has been of the opinion that it has settled the matter and it is now water underneath the bridge because this matter has been now put aside. However, the issue that they had to then settle was whether this would then raise further questions and further implicate BAIN in perhaps other matters that it was not aware of. Yeah. However, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo and the Commission team agreed that they would stick to what was agreed to in the affidavits deposed by Williams, and BAIN, of course, was supplied with that affidavit, and nothing new was put forward before the Commission.
Yeah, and then ultimately the testimony of Mr. Williams went ahead. There was stuff about the ANC Youth League event having been paid for or had money contributed towards it by BAIN Company. And the question was, why would a consultancy firm whose key role or whose key function is to provide advice be paying for a political event?
And this is why the question was put just as you phrased it, because it didn't make sense, because the political event had nothing to do with BAIN. It was almost a sideshow. And they said that, Williams said that he did raise a concern, saying that how is it possible that we are seen to be then trying to court a political organization? Are we trying to put them in the pockets? And the kickback was that, no, it is just part of the company's social responsibility and there was nothing untoward. However, what Williams said he had problem with is the fact that the ANC Youth League is linked as the youth organization of the ruling party, which is the governing party. And BAIN was, of course, he was concerned that BAIN would be seen to be trying to, cozy up too much in order to influence decisions that would be issued out onto contract and in terms of tenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the name of the former president cropping up once again. In what context?
Well, the name of the former president comes with BAIN's agreement and contract with SARS. Now, when BAIN was entering into the negotiation process, it turns out that what Williams alleges is that BAIN got the contract, the SARS contract, without necessarily entering into a tendering process, because during the negotiations, former President Jacob Zuma seemed to have leaned or suggested to Mohlaoli, who was at head of SARS at the time, that BAIN would be the preferred service provider and the contract should go to BAIN and without the due processes being followed and no tendering being issued.
This company is a consultancy firm, Tumaole. Suggestions coming out, or I should actually say, evidence coming out through Athol Williams that part of what they do is train CEOs, and some famous names were actually mentioned. Who are some of the people who were trained by BAIN Company?
Well, in terms of the famous names that were trained by BAIN Company, in fact, let's talk about, before I go there, before I go there and name names, the training of the CEOs was questioned as well, to say, as a consultancy, the services that you are rendering, are they adding any value? This was also in line with the contract that was issued out to SARS, to say that what actual value are you showing that SARS couldn't have sourced in-house? And that was the key question. And what Williams said is that he also felt that BAIN had nothing to answer to when that question was posed. because SARS seemed to have the capacity as an organization to run itself and to make sure that its tax collection activities were successful.
Yeah.
If you look at its tax collecting activities prior to the contract, there was nothing to suggest that SARS was in trouble. However, since then, since BAIN came in and amended and changed the system, we know that it's been in the headlines, we know that it's been reported in the media about how SARS's online platforms continuously seem to collapse. So the question then is, was it a value add? Did it improve? Or are we finding the revenue services in a bit of a quagmire after that contract?
So yesterday, where did they end things, and so where will they pick up today with Athol Williams?
Well, Athol Williams continues, and the way they pick up today, Claudie, is that he has to basically talk more about Tom Moyane's role in the whole saga, whether there was direct interference and direct string pulling to ensure that the contract went out. Because the question that the Commission would have put forward would be, where were the other gatekeepers? This is something Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo has been talking about, to say, where have been the executives? Where have been the people tasked with oversight?